key senior security advisor and a key confidant to the supreme leader of Iran, has been taken out. This information was announced by Washington Post. And the Israelis are celebrating this particular operation. They call it a huge success. According to some of the Israelis, they said that Ali Larijani has been on the radar, and they said he was responsible for killing 38,000 Iranians. So they said they've now taken him out in an airstrike operation. And they said this airstrike operation, they launched it in collaboration with the United States. So when they talked about the collaboration with the United States, they specifically, they claimed that this particular operation in collaboration with the United States was done based on intelligence sharing. So they claimed that this was a big victory for the coalition of both Israel and the United States. So when we look at this strike and we look at what anybody can take away from this operation as a win, you know, is it a win? What does this change? What does this bring? How big is this going to affect the morale of the Iranians as times goes on in this conflict? Personally, Larijani, is the guy that puts the hardliners in Iran in check. That's what Ali Larijani does. He is the guy that, make sure that the military hardliners don't overstep their boundaries. Ali Larijani is a key figure in this conflict. And a lot of people from the outside that have, eaten a lot of or consumed a lot of Western media information, you would think that Ali Larijani is a very dangerous guy. But I can guarantee you that Ali Larijani is not what you think he is. Ali Larijani is a very, very good guy. He's not just Ali Larijani, he's a doctor, a PhD holder. His son, right, is a PhD holder. The son of Ali Larijani is a PhD holder too. So this is a very, very educated top Iranian official that have just been taken out. And when you look at this operation, the Israelis called it a success. But any military think tank will tell you that this is not a success because Ali Larijani has been, very, very crucial to the negotiation that have been taking place between the United States and Iran. You know, about 5 years, about I think 5 to 6 years ago, he was one of the leading personnel that led the Iranian team to Washington to negotiate, the nuclear control, the enrichment control and everything. So Ali Larijani is someone, in my opinion, that I call pro-Western. Ali Larijani is pro-Western. And if you look at the joy in the face of the Israelis to have been able to take out this critical figure, I think the Israelis see this particular operation as a win-win for them. And the reason why the Israelis see taking out Ali Larijani as a win-win is because the question we should be asking is who benefits from a total escalation? Like, who benefits from a complete destruction of the Middle East? It's not the United States. It's Israel. They are the direct benefactor of whatever um, escalation we have in the Middle East. And there have been pressure back at home in Washington for these conflicts to come to an end because everybody is still going to be affected by the exploding gas prices. Um, Whatever happens somewhere ends up affecting everyone indirectly. If you look at my country, I think the gas price is almost unsubsidized gas price is now coming on a double figure. Like we're having a times two. Yes, we are getting very close to times two in Nigeria. Thank you so much. Thank you so much for your support. I appreciate you, man. I appreciate you. Thank you so much. So, what we have right now is Israel knows that this war, they know that from the diplomatic standpoint, from the political standpoint, like from every angle right now, there is a lot of pressure on Washington to call it a day with this conflict. You can see them in so many press conferences. You can hear Donald Trump saying very soon the war is going to come to an end. We are even hearing from some sources that the United States might be looking forward to pulling out of this conflict as soon as possible, based on the resources that are on ground. Whichever way you want to see that, it's okay. But this is a way. This is like an off the cuff for the Israelis. Taking out Larijani is going to lead to a chain of events, right? Assassination attempts, retaliatory assassination attempts. The Iranians are not going to be looking out for any negotiation right now. Recently we were hearing the Iranians saying that if there will be any type of negotiation, that full compensation for the damages that have been done, and the United States military should completely leave the Middle East. But what we have at this point is a situation where the Iranians will be looking for a complete retaliation, and that does not help resolving this conflict from a diplomatic standpoint. This will only make sure that Israel accomplish their objective before this war ends. Because at the end of the day, let's look at it carefully. The winner of this whole, escalation, should I say, a very non-educated escalation push, is Israel. Because I can guarantee you that Israel knows that Donald Trump is the closest they might ever get to the seat of power in the United States. When it comes to the Israeli lobbies and the rest, they know that this is their best chance. They might never, this type of opportunity is probably a once in a lifetime opportunity. So they are trying their best, even if they are suffering, because the Iranian strike, as at this evening, has been devastating. The Iranians have just launched, some couple minutes ago, they've just launched their 61st wave, in memory of the martyrdom of Ali Larijani, his son, and the commander of the Basij militia. The Basij militia is a local, resistance militia. These are Iranian civilians that came together to support the defense of their homeland. Because what we have in Iran right now is a sort of revolutionary campaign. Because the whole fracture, the Iranian states, before now, we noticed that there were so many, people that were filled with discontent. But the level of escalation that they are seeing has made them realize that the future of Iran can only be guaranteed and ascertained by Iranians, not by an external force. So what we are having now is a situation where the Iranians will come together more, they will be more united, and a united Iran means that a regime change is impossible. Let me just be very, very clear. A united Iran makes it impossible for any type of regime change operation. A divided Iran is very, very important for a regime change. So, if the aim of the United States is to go into Iran and create a regime change condition, like Benjamin Netanyahu has been saying, that they've been able to create the condition for a regime change, I don't think this is how you create a condition for a regime change. If you want to create a condition for regime change, then you don't attack the civilians. You have to make the civilians feel like they are safe. You have to make the civilians feel like we are the good guys and we are coming to protect you. So, with that, you might have some civilians that will be ready to compromise. We have them in every nation. But the moment the Minab schoolgirl strike came in and, different civilian buildings were knocked out, and even some of the protesters now realize that, man, this is not about us. This is beyond us. Now everybody now looked, they had to be recalibrated back to their fundamentals, which is homeland or death. That is what happens. There's a saying in my language that "Tiwaju o ba se lo, eyin se pada si." Do you understand? If you are going somewhere and you don't know the way, you don't know where you are going again, you will turn back. And I think that is the situation we have in Iran right now. So there is a shift in the power dynamics right now. The intention of this particular assassination attempt that was successful might be to create a power vacuum. But I think a lot of people have not learned anything. Taking out Ayatollah Ali Said Khamenei did not leave a power vacuum. So what makes anyone think that taking out Ali Larijani will create a power vacuum? See, for anybody to be successful against the Iranian state, you need to become a sponge. You need to soak in to the Iranian doctrine. These are people that are not, when you talk about the delegation of power, right? The way Iran is built in there are layers. It's like a multi-layer system. You don't destroy one layer and claim that you've regime changed. 100,000 Iranians left, you will still not change the regime. With 100,000 Iranians left, you will still not change the regime. I was telling somebody this evening who was a co-analyst on a TV station in Nigeria. I told him, I said, if you have 50 Iranians left, there is still this belief that I am next. So nobody will come and impose anybody on them. It's not possible. Just with a little time, I've been able to study the Iranians. I think they got everything under control. What do I think? I think right now they've been able to select. The Iranians must have selected another individual, and that is where the problem is. You see, Larijani is the guy that puts Dr. Larijani, let me be clear, he is the guy that puts everyone in check. Because according to information, there are some hardliners that want nuclear weapon. They want Iran to go all out. But these are you see, that previous regime of Ali Khamenei, the commanders, Ali Larijani, those guys they are the older generation that fought during the revolution, right? They want a peaceful Iran. Those guys want everywhere to be Delta Hotel. They see, even when they are being aggressive, they are very, very calculated. Don't forget that during the 12-day war, this same generation of guys were the ones that informed the United States that evacuate your troops. We are going to be striking so location. Don't forget. That was at the tail end of the conflict, just to reduce casualty. So what I feel right now is that everything that allows Iran to be less hardline, I think they have been able to remove them. Every factor has been removed completely. And I think the people behind this is Israel. I don't think taking out Ali Larijani was a US operation. Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Cryptography. I really appreciate it. Thank you so much for the support. I think this is not a United States operation because it is not in their interest to take out someone like this. It is in the interest of the Israelis so that there will be no end to this conflict very soon. Now, when we say that Israel does not want an end to this conflict very soon, Israel is taking a lot of damage, but they are taking less damage compared to the 12-day war. And I'll tell you why. I was discussing with a colleague today, and I told the colleague, I said, the damage that Israel took during the 12-day war is more than what they are taking now. And he said, how? He said the Iranians are shooting their missile with more precision and all of that. I said, the damage that Israel took during the 12-day war was unprecedented. And you can't compare to what is going on right now. Let me tell you, let me give you the explanation. Israel, during the 12-day conflict, they were dealing with Iranian missiles that has zero precision. And those missiles were flying in huge numbers, right? A lot of think tanks can come with this narrative of you know um United States wasn't involved and all of that. If you look at this conflict now with the United States involvement, what difference are you seeing? The destruction from on both sides is almost equal, almost. But from the strategic standpoint, you can say Iran is scoring a lot of blows, right? On the radar system, they just destroyed the radar today, a huge radar. I think in Qatar, I think Qatar or Saudi Arabia, they just destroyed a very, very huge long range radar system today. And it's not going to be replaced anytime soon because it's very, very expensive. Okay. In order to kill the kid, yes, that is the Israeli doctrine. If Israel wants someone in this particular community that I am, they want one person, they will probably destroy the entire community. So to get that one person, so it's their doctrine. That is not even the main problem right now. The problem is during the 12-day war. You see, the thing about Iran during the 12-day war was that Israel became a place that nobody could live. Why? Because those missiles had no precision and they weren't negotiating. Some were falling into the ocean, some were falling on civilians. Like everybody was getting it during the 12-day war. There was no negotiation. Like it was a look. Have you ever dealt with aggression from a normal dog and aggression from a rabid dog? There is a difference. During the 12-day war, see, look, when you are fighting an educated opponent that is coming very, very clean, because if you look at the damage from Iran, it has been very, very minimal. I'm talking about, damage to the civilians. It has been very, very minimal. It has been a clean strike from Iran. The only time I think the Iranians are actually, touching up the civilians is when they shoot the Qaram Shafar and the sub munitions, kind of spread out so it can land anywhere. But anything outside that, from the Segi to there is a new missile that have just been used today. After the death of when they were trying to commemorate the martyrdom of Ali Larijani, right? There is a new missile that they've just deployed. But before now, I can tell you categorically that the Iranians, right? They have been very, very clean in this conflict. And you being clean, I don't know what I don't know what benefit you'd get or derive from being very, very clean. But what I can tell you categorically is that during the 12-day war, Iran was more devastated because those missiles they had, people were talking about 500-meter targeting precision and all of that. So what happened during they want to fight with honor? Thank you. That's the problem. That's the problem right now. You see, during the 12-day war, The war ended very quickly, not just because of the interceptor stockpile. No, the war ended so fast because even if you are the way Iran continued to pour in those missiles were taking out whoever. Buildings, expensive buildings, huge buildings that were very important for civilian lives to continue were getting knocked out. So Iran made it so unbearable. They made it so terrible for the Israelis. So the war had to end very quick. But now what we have is a well calculated Iran. You are trying to destroy raiders. You are trying to strategically paralyze, you are trying to out chess, out game, and out control and out escalate, whichever way anybody want to see it, the United States and Israel. And when you're fighting Israel, right? There is this saying that you fight a boxer and you box a fighter. But when you are dealing with the Israelis, right, based on their doctrine, I think based on my own understanding, you have to apply their own principles too. Do you get what I'm saying? You have to apply their principles. When you apply their principles, I think it will make them withdraw very, very quickly. And I think that was what happened during the 12-day war. The fact that Iran continues to go smoothly, and man, it only means that this war will not end anytime soon. If it benefits the Iranians, I don't know. Okay, I don't know if it benefits the Iranians. If you look at Iran currently, um, the civilians, they are standing behind the regime, but there is a lot going on. And I can guarantee you there is a reason why Larijani was assassinated. I said it when Ali Khamenei was killed. I said there are intelligence agents on the ground. There are assets on the ground in Iran. You know, and I saw how dangerous this was from the initial protests before the conflict started. I said Iran is compromised. There was a reason why they said Iran is at its weakest. Being weak might be the number of agents that are on the ground that are carrying out espionage. So if you look at the targeting right now, there are several citizens in that location, right? But they were taken out, right? You can't identify Ali Larijani from an aircraft. You cannot. You can't identify the location of Ali Larijani, right? From probably from probably um your satellite imaging. There are two ways, right, to this. I think it's either intelligence from the ground, and I will say this unapologetically, or the X platform. There are two ways to this. Remember, during the first war, which is a 12-day war, Meta was very, very important in targeting the personnel on the ground, the commanders that were taken out on the first day. According to information from the Iranians, they were taken out from, they were being, their geolocation was being assessed through WhatsApp, all the Meta platforms they were used to assess them. And when they changed and they dropped their phones and everything, the Meta, uh, you know, the Meta account of their personal bodyguard was used to target them again. So right now, and that was why they changed from GPS to Baidu and all of those things like that. But the fact that you can see that Ali Larijani is always, saying things on X and all of that. I think there are two things involved. It's either there is someone on the ground giving the geolocation, or the Elon Musk platform has done it again. It's not this is not actually, personally, I feel like it's very, very bad at this point in time for those leaders to be moving around the way they've been moving around. You are supposed to protect your operational security. You're supposed to do everything you're supposed to do to make sure that your operational security is properly, on guard, is on guard. But walking around doing a lot of things, I was just like, man, this is not smart like that. Okay, now it's now going to get bad because the military hardliners are going to come in. That is it. The next person they are going to select, because Ali Larijani was from the old regime, the regime of Ayatollah Said Khamenei. The moment Muitaba Khamenei came in, we definitely know that there's trouble. Now, let me tell you this. The Iranians, they are still in the Ramadan period. Ramadan period means that, look, this is the weakest Iran you will find. The Ramadan period means that they are fasting. They won't want to commit any war crime. They are fighting, they are fighting a controlled fight. I will be back here to remind you that the calculus of this combat will change after Ramadan completely. You throw a rabbit punch, they are going to throw their own rabbit punch. Like, we will see. I will come back to tell you that I said it after Ramadan. I think we have 2 days left for Ramadan, or probably one. I don't know. The Muslims in the house can tell me how many days you have left for your Ramadan. But I think I spoke to someone yesterday who said they had 2. And I think by today, it should remain 1. After this Ramadan, you are going to see a different Iran completely. So I think Ali Larijani would have been replaced. And this is where the problem is. The hardline generations are coming in. They are replacing the more, you know, uh, educated and controlled ones. What you are going to have now are the guys that don't want negotiation, the guys that want an eye for an eye, probably a complete head for an eye. You are going to, what we are going to start saying from next week going forward, the escalation ladder is going to go out of control. Okay, this is by my calculation. This is what I think, right? So politically, in terms of policy, this only means that uh, Iran will now go after the nuclear weapon. The guys that made sure that the fatwa of Ayatollah Khamenei stayed intact are gone. Larijani is gone. And some of the commanders that made sure that everything was going smoothly, they are gone. So you have the younger generation that are more brutal, that would do anything possible to respond to whatever level of aggression they are in place right now. And I just want you to know, the latest missile that have been shot today was a long range missile that can reach Europe. Yes, the latest missiles that Iran just launched today is a long range missile. It's not an intermediate or a short range. And we are now seeing the long range after Ayatollah Khamenei was taken out. Now that you have a son, Muitaba Khamenei, who many sees as a very, very, chronic hardliner, you know, they launched the cruise missile. They launched a missile today that has a range of over 2,500 kilometers. Over. So it means that it can reach some part of the European mainland. Okay. Now what I think is, very soon nothing will stop the Iranians from having a nuclear weapon. At this point, nothing, because the guys selecting the leaders right now is Muitaba Khamenei. Now, let me use this opportunity to inform you, to inform the public opinion rather, that I 100% believe that the son of Ayatollah Khamenei is alive. Iran is not involved in, they are not ready for any kabuki theater. Once a top official dies, in less than 24 hours, they are going to come out with the announcement. Immediately, Ayatollah Khamenei was hit, the information was out in the public domain. And I think a part of this is still because, they are being honest, they are being too honest, they are fighting with honor, right? But very soon, it's about to go through, everything is about to go out of the window. And I will come back and tell you that I said it, because once Ramadan ends, I really don't know, but I will come back and I will tell, and you will even notice that the escalation has gone beyond control once Ramadan ends. Right. So I think in terms of the policy for nuclear control, I think it's not possible to control the nuclear this thing again. And we are hearing information that the United States um, you know, regime is thinking about putting boots on the ground, most especially in Isfahan. They said the belief, okay, yes, it's Ramadan. That is why you are having a controlled aggression from Iran. You will see a different Iran after Ramadan. I promise you. I promise you. You know, so yeah, but what have we noticed, right? It means that from an objective standpoint, the decapitation strike from the United States has been a complete failure, and from a strategic standpoint, it continues to be um strategic it continues to be a strategic failure. So that is why you are now seeing that the US is saying that they want to have boots on the ground. For the regime change to really, really happen, they need boots on the ground. Yes, to be able to, now they need that control on the ground. They need control. And that will really, really open the ultimate Pandora box. There's going to be a lot of exchange. Um, yeah, the Iran is currently accelerating the end of the petrodollar. And what that has created right now is that, it has given the United States, deep state, right, a reason to fight. I think the US did not really have a clear reason to fight before. But now that the US dollar hegemony is in a serious threat, I think the US has a reason to fight right now. A lot of people a lot of US, you know, pro US supporters, okay, they now want to fight now because they feel like the dollar is being threatened. That is why they are fighting now. There is no, okay. So what do I think? So according to the information, they said they will go into Isfahan, and they will need minimum 2 hours, and they will need some specialists to go with them to Isfahan to destroy or take the the 60% enriched uranium. They are saying that there is a high probability that the enriched uranium are in Isfahan, the Isfahan nuclear site. How true that is, I don't know. Are there any enriched uranium in Isfahan? We don't know. We don't know where they got that intelligence from. But going to Isfahan and spending 30 minutes on the ground is a death sentence, in my opinion. Isfahan is not going anywhere. Isfahan is not a mobile location. Isfahan is that nuclear site in Isfahan, right? Is a standby location that is waiting for strikes. And the fact that the Iranian military, okay, is decentralized. The command control structures and the location is decentralized. You have them scattered all around Iran. Means that once you have those boots on the ground, every strike on the planet from the surface of Iran will be focused on that particular location. If you like, you can put your air force or whatever you have, you can put it on, you can give them air cover and all of that. But if you put boots on the ground in Isfahan, it will be a complete disaster. None of those soldiers will return. I'm telling you. Iran will probably compromise the entire place. And they will probably shoot the whole place with hypersonic capabilities. Now, how that benefits the United States, I don't know. I don't know completely, but I feel like if there are any military think tanks in the States, they should be telling Donald Trump that this is a suicide mission. You want to stay in Isfahan for 2 hours. Even the coalition of the willing will not be successful. We've said this on multiple occasions that a boots on the ground will be a disaster. First of all, let's talk about the Strait of Hormuz. So Donald Trump has made requests that a coalition of the willing, I don't know, that they should join him, in policing and opening the Strait of Hormuz. So, and what we discovered was that nobody that we know of, no significant, like militarily significant country opted in. Nobody. It was totally rejected. The UK, France claimed that they are fighting from a defensive standpoint, right? Nobody, even the European Union. The European Union, in my opinion, they've always been the last on the food chain. They are the ones that will say yes to everything. But if the European Union can tell you no, then you are finished. If the European Union of all union can sit down and for 1 second they look at them, we are not coming. Ha! You are in trouble. So now, what are we saying now? Donald Trump has insisted that the US does not need help. Can you hear that statement? Donald Trump is now saying, right, after he said that the coalition of the willing should join to reopen the Strait of Hormuz. See, man, this is embarrassing. Now he is now saying that they don't need any help. They will rely on Israel and the Gulf states. But the question is, will Israel and the Gulf states be enough? Whatever help they are going to get from both sides, will it be enough to open the Strait of Hormuz? There is a coalition in Iran, in Iraq, right? There's Hezbollah, there is Yemenis Houthi. There are several proxies that have not even been activated, according to the information we are getting. So, first of all, I would say that the Isfahan talk, right, having boots on the ground in the Isfahan nuclear site, is an hypothesis. It's not. It will never make it to even the testing phase, because making it to the testing phase means you have to put boots on the ground, and that will be suicide. That would be a target practice. Okay. Now, the bad aspect of this whole thing is Donald Trump has now rejected all. He did not even reject. He made the offer, and nobody was willing to join. And even NATO, NATO rejected, and Donald Trump, he went all out on these entities he called out. He said they have spent trillions of dollars on NATO. Okay. That the NATO is this, NATO is that, this and that. They've spent so much, they've protected this country, they've protected that country, and just this little favor. And what those guys are saying is simple and very understandable. They said, if the Almighty, according to them, that's what they said. They said, if the Almighty, right? Now it looks as if they are mocking Donald Trump. They said, if the Almighty US Navy cannot open or police the Strait of Hormuz, that What significant difference is their own navy going to make? And that is a very, it can be funny, it might be embarrassing, but which side will you choose? Is it the public opinion embarrassment or a global unavoidable embarrassment where you don't only lose reputation, you don't only lose face, you are going to lose people in that Strait of Hormuz? The Strait of Hormuz is going to this is see, look, once the ships enter the Strait of Hormuz, right? the the level of the level of chaos you will have in that Strait of Hormuz will be so will be so unprecedented to the point that the world will never ever forget what will happen in that strait. The Strait of Hormuz will be remembered, right? That whatever campaign they have in the Strait of Hormuz will be remembered long after our generation is gone. So Donald Trump now said that they don't need any assistance from, you know, the coalition of the willing anymore. And this is just a message that this war, I'm telling you, if the coalition, if they are seeing a very, very good, should I say, if they feel like this is going to be a success, they are going to join him. But the think tanks in these nations, they are looking at it that, man, this is going to be a failure. That is why they are not trying to join this campaign. It's not like they don't want to join the fight too, but they are looking at it that, man, this is going to be impossible. Okay, so that is why they are not joining the campaign. And I think this is the beginning of the end, because this rejection of Donald Trump's call for help will not go unanswered. As long as Donald Trump is the president of the United States, he is going to respond. So how he's going to respond, we don't know. But Donald Trump is going to respond. Is going to respond. So now, according to the information we have, the United States have now deployed their B-2 Spirit bombers, okay, that have dropped payload of over 5,000 kilograms in each payload. You know, the B-2 can carry heavy munitions, right? So they have now dropped multiple, they called it bunker penetrating munitions, right? Very close to that strait. Okay. Thank you very much. There is a fatwa that long range beyond 2,000 should not be allowed in the Iranian military. So they've now launched a long range ballistic capability, which means whatever fatwa they have before has been completely destroyed. So taking out Ali Larijani is just, you know, you are adding icing to the top of the cake, right? That those rugged guys that that are that are now going to be coming in, you are trying to tell them that, man, you can go all out now and do anything. Now you see, the Europeans are very, very smart. You can call them weak or whatever, but they are very, very smart. The Europeans know that they are very, very reliant on global energy importation. So if the United States military has not reached, together with Israel, have not made any significant progress along the Strait of Hormuz, they surely know that there is almost zero, there's almost zero impact their own military will make. Yes, I'm telling you, Iran is big. Iran is not some bunch of slippers wearing terrorist group. These guys are like, they have over 900,000 military personnel. Europe knows that in terms of economic right now, they are in their weakest. So why put your nose into something that, because before you have it now, you might have the US technically going out of the conflict and leaving Europe out there And the next thing you will start hearing that the Iranians and the Europeans, they should go and have their peace talk in the United States and all of that. Donald Trump will tell them that now he will be selling weapons to them. I'm telling you. So everybody already knows that the Donald Trump regime can do, and what they cannot do does not exist. So Europe is very, very smart. They've seen that what if, just what if, we join this coalition of the disgruntled and we are not able to still open the Strait of Hormuz? What will happen? Then Europe, where will the energy come from? Russia? Or will it come from, will it come from the Gulf? Because if this fails, on the long term, the US and Israel, on the long term, they are going to have to freeze the conflict or completely get out of this conflict. That is it. The long-term picture. Because the fact is that Lockheed Martin, Raytheon, all these companies, right? They cannot meet up. Northrop Grumman, they cannot meet up with the production capability, cannot match the level of munitions that is being required to match this intensity. They cannot meet it. They are not, see, there is a way you prepare for something. If you are not like that, you will not be like that in the middle of the conflict itself. You will not. That adaptation, we've never seen it before. But what God cannot do does not exist. But I don't see it happening right now. They need time. They will need to build infrastructure to match up this particular type of, intensity. What the US have right now, they have more offensive capabilities. And the problem right now is that who knows if some of the strategic defense interceptors of the United States and radars is currently covertly being sacrificed for Israel. You don't know. This is just off the board. Okay? Who knows if some of the strategic defense capabilities of US is being, redirected to Israel as we speak. Okay? So that is another issue right now. So, according to the information we have, the Europeans are saying that this is a war of choice. And you voluntarily decided to start this conflict. And because you voluntarily decide to start the conflict, you shouldn't be calling them now, because you did not consult them. When you decided, you did not put their own position into perspective when you unilaterally took that decision to go into Iran. So why are you calling for them now? I think the Europeans will not change their position. Why do I think so? I think Donald Trump will now continue to embarrass them. I think Donald Trump will now continue to insult them, and they won't have a reason to join this conflict anymore. For their honor, for their respect. I think if Donald Trump was a very, very calculative individual, he would probably not talk and maybe make the approach again. But the Donald Trump that we know is going to now go on a campaign right now. Europe is going to get it right now. It's not this whole defiance is not going to go unanswered. So from a strategic standpoint, I think this would only make sure that Europe does not join this fight. Now, the problem is, I think everyone somehow now sees the United States as a big threat. And I think that's why Europe is not trying to join. I think somehow, in some places, some people are looking at the United States like this is the biggest threat right now to the world, to world peace. I'm telling you, from Venezuela to Greenland, from Greenland now to Iran, from Iran to Cuba. So everybody, to even Ukraine. So everybody is now looking at the US right now like, man, what's your game plan? And look at what Donald Trump said about Emmanuel Macron today. Like I said, the friction is going to multiply from this point. Donald Trump said that Emmanuel Macron will not be long in his position. That is a big statement. That is Donald Trump coming out overtly to tell the world that Emmanuel Macron is a puppet and he will leave when the United States says it's time to leave. So how does this help the call for help that Donald Trump is making? And I can tell you this whole thing means that the United States is frustrated. Ramadan ends tomorrow. Thank you very much. And that only means that we will now see a different level of escalation. That is, I'm telling you, the escalation will go through the roof. So now, according to the information, they said the United States, they've dropped B2 munition from the B2 bombard, towards the territories that are very close to the Straits of Hormuz. They said the objective is to target some missile stockpiles that the Iranian regime has placed very close to the Straits. Now I will tell you this: if this was something strategic, the declassified footage will be out. But there are no declassified footage for that operation, which means that a lot of civilians must have gone for that mission right there. There was no warning. Remember that when Iran wanted to attack a certain place in Israel, they told all the civilians to evacuate. That was what they said. Even in your bunkers, leave. We've seen that in Tel Aviv, some bunkers have been destroyed yesterday. They told the people around that region to completely evacuate and pass through the RN4 lane. That was what they said. And they gave them time. Right? But this particular B2, whatever we are hearing now, okay? There was no alert. They just dropped the B2. They just dropped those munitions on some civilians. And at the end of the day, they will just come out and give you reports. Probably through CENTCOM, right? That they've destroyed, they've dropped bombs and, Now the Iranians will now find out that it has never been about them. It has never, ever been about them. So according to the information we have, Iran launched the 61st wave of strike against Tel Aviv. Report from Tasnim. According to information, the Islamic Revolutionary Guard Corps said it carried out a 61st wave of its Operation True Promise 4, using multiple missile types to strike over 100 military and security targets in Tel Aviv, according to Tasnim. Now get that report. Over 100 military and security targets. They are not targeting civilians. So this is why I think this will last even longer than the 12-day war. We are past 12 days right now. Okay? Because they are fighting with honor. But during the 12-day war, it was not that they don't want to fight with honor, but the capabilities to fight with precision wasn't there. So the missile was serving, everybody was getting served. Everybody got served during the 12-day war. So, but we'll see. So, according to the information, they said the agency reported power outage in part of the city. That means they actually hit something very, very significant. Following the attack, an estimated initial casualties more than 230 killed and injured. This information is coming from Reuters and Sputnik Africa. So these are legitimate sources. So estimated casualty more than 230 killed and injured. And there are power outage in some regions of the city in Tel Aviv. So this means that we are getting to a point where it's now becoming somehow unbearable. very, very unbearable. So we will see. Now, according to the information we have, currently we have deafening raids on Beirut's Dayer and Gulf Street in thick black smoke. Low jets still flying, screaming overhead. So Israel continues their campaign in Beirut, downtown Beirut, and across the IDF warns of imminent strike. So they are telling people to leave down south Beirut. Okay. Um. So now we have another information. Red alert across central Israel. Renewed Iranian wave target Tel Aviv. Okay. So the exchange is still going on. And cluster munitions set the sky ablaze over Israel as they drift towards Tel Aviv. So this is the Koramsha 4. So that's the Koramsha 4. And this information is from Reuters. You can see it's from Reuters. So Iran continues to launch, and in a single Koramsha 4, that is 3 tons, that is 2 tons. That's 2 tons of warhead in a single Koramsha 4 capability. So according to information, South Tel Aviv has been hit. Direct strike sends smoke surging overhead. So these are smokes right there. So that's an information coming from Reuters. So according to information, they said South Tel Aviv, direct Iranian missile impact. Rescue team rush in. This is southern Tel Aviv. And if you look at the scene properly, you will discover that there was a sudden outage. There was a power outage. Look at it very well. Can you see? So if we are already having power outage and Ramadan is still on, what are we going to have after Ramadan? See, I'm very, very interested in what will happen after Ramadan. We don't need, look, for me, I think we don't need any more escalation. Okay. Okay. So according to Reuters, okay, um, is this no, this this is Israel, this is Tel Aviv. Okay, according to information, loud boom shakes Tel Aviv as Iranian onslaught continues. That is Reuters. Oh man, I want you to, wow, that sound is very, very heavy. That sound that came in was very, very heavy. So according to President Donald Trump, he talked about statehood and he posted on his Truth Social. Trump still pushing statehood for Venezuela after beating US baseball team. I don't know what that means. So according to information coming from Reuters, the Iranian missiles hit Tel Aviv. Reports: Iran FARS News reported missiles striking and exploding in Tel Aviv. Israel Civil Defense said buildings and vehicles were damaged in Afula area. Footage circulating online appears to show explosions, fires across parts of the city. So these are munitions coming into Israel. So this is what we have in Afula, Apoel Afula. So that's central Israel. This is Israel. This is Israel. So this is another information from Reuters. Okay. So this is the situation right now in Tel Aviv. Okay. So I think the strike is very, very. So according to information, Israeli rescue team struggles through thick smoke to extinguish fires after Iranian missile strike. So this means that Kai Inferno structure burns to a crisp as Iranian direct hit causes havoc in Tel Aviv. This is Reuters. So man, this is going to be long. This is going to be extremely long. So according to information coming out of Reuters, residential buildings wiped out in downtown Beirut. IDF strike confirmed. Can you see that? Hmm. So you can see how that building went down. That's carpet bombing for you right there. That's downtown Beirut. You can see how that building went down. Only God knows how many civilians were in that building at the time of strike. Hmm. Wow. So that's the information we are getting from RT. So, according to information, Iranian missiles strike on Tel Aviv sparks fire. Footage circulating online appears to show burning vehicle and flames rising in part of the city. Beirut in Lebanon, not Iran. So this is Tel Aviv right now. Beirut is in Lebanon. So this is Tel Aviv right now. This information is coming from Reuters. Okay. So now, according to information, Israeli raid wakes downtown Beirut, devastating blast sends plumes across the sky. Look at buildings going down, for God's sake. So yeah, so that's the update we have right now. That's the update we have. Israel is going out for the kitchen sink. Okay. Um, according to information, they said South Tel Aviv struck by recent surge of Iranian cluster missiles. Reports indicated that Israeli interceptor systems are exhausted. That is the report right now. That the reason why you have the success rate, so they said it's because the Israelis interceptor systems are exhausted. So maybe the United States will continue to, um, you know, maybe the Israeli interceptors they will continue. The Americans will continue to send in, um, you know, they'll continue to send in interceptors. So this is now the U.S. war indirectly, either we like it or not. Now, Lindsey Graham had something to say about Joe Kent resigning.
To my friend Joe Kent, who's a decorated war veteran who lost his wife in Syria. What are you doing? You're giving aid and comfort to a lie. There was an imminent threat. How much more imminent could you be within 2 weeks having enough material to make 10 bombs? How close could you come? Not much. To my friend.
So, when you have people like Lindsey Graham speaking for you, then you are in a very serious trouble. we're in a very, very serious trouble. We wish America the best of luck in their endeavor, but having people like Lindsey Graham, okay, making decisions for you. And I've never seen the US leadership in this shape, you know. I've never, even the Obama regime, right? It wasn't this bad. I think this is the worst I've seen. And I doubt if there will be any regime that will be able to break the record. Um Yeah, that name. Before, when I hear Lindsey Graham, I used to think it was a woman. I used to think it was a woman. When I hear Lindsey Graham, it sounds so feminine. Until I saw him, and I was like, "Wow, this is a man." So, so I did not believe that Lindsey Graham was a woman until I heard that Lindsey Graham is a woman. So this is another strike on Beersheba, incoming to Beersheba. So from Iran, actually. So they are trying to make sure that Israel becomes unbearable. So the information from the IDF that they discovered that there was power outage in some areas of Tel Aviv is very, very correct. So at least according to what we are hearing, according to what we've seen in that video, um, yeah, we are very, very sure that Tel Aviv got compromised really, really bad. But if you remember, on the Android community, I think, was it on the second or the third day of this conflict, I said that the Iranians should take out the power grid. I don't know why they are doing it now. I don't know why they are doing it now. And I'm not being I'm not being what should I call it now? I'm not being wicked for saying it. I think in war, this is how you fight war. I said it on the second or the third day. I said the Iranians need to knock out the power grid. You need to reduce communication, to do a lot of things. You need to knock out the power grid. Knocking out the power grid, knock out the water system, like paralyze the whole thing completely. But they were, I mean, like somebody said on this platform that the Iranians were fighting with honor, right? Well, we all cannot operate with the same mindset, and yeah, but RIP to Ali Larijani, and they did their best. They did their best. Okay. So now we have another information. They said the US $1 trillion drone strategy now obsolete. Iran Gahim 118 is shooting down Israeli MS-900 heavy drones. And now the Iranians, right? They have now developed a new technology that is shooting down the Israeli drones. Kai. You see, I told someone, I said, the fact that the Iranians were the ones that created this Shahid, I said, you don't see, there is no way you will produce pencil without producing the eraser. When you produce pencil, the beauty of that pencil is because you have been able to produce an eraser to the pencil. So this whole thing that they are sending Zelensky, they are doing this, Lucas drone. This is, you are not talking to Iran, because they would have been able to produce a counter capability to it. Now, this is not just a counter capability to just ordinary drones. According to the information we have, Iran's Gahim 118 is shooting down Israeli MS-900 heavy drones and their American counterparts, the MQ-9 Reaper, right over the Iranian airspace. Here is all you need to know. 25-kilometer range, powered by turbojet engine and advanced multi-sensor guidance, combined radar, electro-optical and infrared seekers. This low-cost system delivers pinpoint accuracy against low-altitude swarms while defeating Pentagon's jamming tactics. 5 missile tubes launchers, mounted on rugged ARAS-3 trucks have already scored multiple combat kills against the Israeli heavy MS 900 and US MQ-9 Reaper class drones over the province like Isfahan and Lorestan. First unveiled during the February 2025 Great Prophet 19 exercises. The GAIM 118 was built from the ground up as a ship high volume encounter to Western air dominance. High explosive fragmentation warhead shreds small, low significant target on impact, turning multi-million-dollar drone into scrap in seconds. So, to be honest with you, I don't see I don't see a way. I don't see a way for the look at the new look at the capability, look at the incoming into Israel. Look at the incoming into Israel. Oh my goodness. Look at the Koramsha 4. And these are just the sub munitions, right? These are the sub munitions. The main Koramsha 4 must have traveled leaving these munitions behind, right? It's an hypersonic glide vehicle. And Iran used, oh my goodness. So this is Israel. This is Israel. So this is Israel. This is Israel. So for me, I think this war will now escalate beyond control from now on. So this is Israel. This is another footage of Israel. Okay. Assalamu alaikum. Thank you so much for coming. Okay. So this is Israel. So let me answer your question, okay? Let me answer your question. Um let me answer your question. So Tel Aviv is getting it tonight. Tel Aviv is getting it tonight. So, and I think some key military infrastructures will probably be hit in those strikes right there. Those are not just ordinary strikes. I think key military infrastructures will be hit. Now, you asked the question, you said that based on GDP comparatively, and that Nigeria should be able to produce what the Iranians are producing. First of all, Nigerians are very, very intelligent. I have to give that to them. Nigerians are very, very intelligent. And I believe that if there is a true transfer of technology to Africa, Africans can do a lot of things. I 100% from Burkina Faso to Burundi to Sudan to wherever, if there is legit transfer of intelligence, right? Transfer of technology to Africa, Africa can produce these things at an industrial level. But the reason why Nigeria and other African country, okay, they are not at this level. Let me just say that they are not, and I don't think they will ever be at this level unless there is a campaign that is beyond genocidal that happens in this region. Okay, it has to be beyond genocidal, where people feel like, yes, we're about to be wiped out. I'm not talking about this whole exaggeration of wipeout. I'm talking about real wipeout. That is when they will realize that, okay, it's important for us to do this. I feel Africa is still at that point where stealing, uh, plundering of resources, being criminal, looting public funds is still the main agenda. They don't have sovereignty. And it's not like they don't know the value of sovereignty. They intentionally do not want sovereignty. Let's even, first of all, take out this whole idea and agenda. Let's take out this conversation of Western influence, okay? Let's take out this idea of Western influence, right? Let's use Nigeria, for example. Peter Obi, right? He's supposed to be competing for the presidential seat, right? What did you hear your fellow Nigerians saying? They said he is not ready to become the president of Nigeria because he is not ready to spend. That's what they said. That he's not ready to spend. These are the youths talking. So when you look at the mindset of the youth and you look at what they are saying, so because for you to be a good leader in Nigeria, it means you have to spend your way to victory. It just tell you what all you need to know about the mindset of those people. These are not people that need freedom. And at the end of the day, the problem is everybody wants to blame it on, oh, the West, the West, the West. A key, a key, significant aspect of the community and the states, they want to be bought. It's not because it's not because money is being pushed in their direction. It's not because people want to be bought. The mindset of criminality is it has come to stay in this country. So you see, the whole conversation of sovereignty, the whole conversation of building a sort of independent defense complex and all of that is a lie in Africa. It's a complete lie. It's a propaganda. I don't see it happening. I don't see it happening. You have too many criminal minded people in Africa for any reasonable thing to happen. I don't, I don't think Africa do not need to be attacked. They just need to give Africans orders. You know, you don't have, and I'm not sorry to say this. I'm saying this based on statistics. Africans, for many years to come, they are not ready to get out of this. Hey, you, hey, that, you here. They are not ready to get out of that shell. These people love being slaves so bad, and that is the truth. I'm not saying this from an apologetic standpoint, but from what I have seen, and for you to change, right? For you to change that mentality, to make them patriotic, to make them see reasons why they need to be self-reliant. Do you know how bad it is when you are not looking forward to being self-reliant? You are not trying to control your internal economy. You're not thinking in the direction of sovereignty. It's very, very bad. It makes you a very useless, it makes the whole design very, very useless. It's very, very bad. They've completely adopted Western values. That's why you see some narrative, they fly very quickly in Africa. When people come and tell you, oh, Africa is a bad continent, when they tell you that Iran is a very bad continent, Iran is a bad country, they are beheading people. There are some people in Nigeria that don't want to hear any other thing. They don't even do research because they were told by they were informed by certain media that this is what Iran beheaded 38,000 is even possible. They will run around with the narrative like that. You can see Professor Marandi, Dr. Marandi educating a certain British journalist, right? That and you can look, if you look at the interview properly and you see the way the British journalist was talking, even without facts, Professor Dr. Marandi was able to educate the woman. So the thing is, like for me now, I am not Muslim, I am not Christian, I am none of this old thing. I can see clearly. So looking at Africa as a whole, I can see clearly because my allegiance is not towards uh the Abrahamic whatever, and my allegiance is not towards the Muslim side. I am just a neutral entity. I can see clearly. I can see why my people needs to be free. I can see like no, there are no Western, there are no, should I say, no agenda is working on people like us. We are very resistant to it because you know nothing, there is no way anybody can come around and play whatever type of manipulation. And it's so disheartening when a lot of people want to talk to me in this environment. The first thing they say is you need to pray, you need to do this, you need to do that. Come on now, stop deceiving yourself. If you get to some places, right, people don't even pray because majority of what they are praying for, the constitution and you know what have been done, the provisions by the government of that country, because they have sovereignty, because everything is towards nation building. Majority of whatever you want to ask for has been answered, so they don't even pray. The most religious continent in the world is the worst, Africa. I was speaking to a man when I was returning from stadium. I went for an interview. you know um Then after the interview, we had to. It's a Nigerian national stadium in Surulere. So we started having conversation in one of the studios about the current geopolitical dynamics in Nigeria. And while coming back, the driver actually was going in the same direction as I was going. And the first thing that came out of his mouth is, "Do you pray?" I looked at him and I had to nod my head for him. Being an histopathologist, being what I've been, I have seen some very dangerous things in life. Like I've been there. I've seen patients beg for their life in their final moments and they don't still make it. I've seen people pray 24/7 and nothing changed. The situation completely got out of control. I have seen people, instead of coming to the hospital, they went to the church, and by the time they brought them to the hospital, the situation was completely out of control. Like I've seen some things in my life. I've seen a patient that was already in a state of rigor mortis, and some pastors came from their church with their prayer warriors, and they lay hands on that individual, and they were praying for several hours until they got tired, and they discovered that the situation did not change, and they had to leave, in a very embarrassing fashion. Um, to be honest with you, Africa needs a lot of reset. Like Africa needs reset. I am not going to do it. You know, um, um, I'm not gonna be the one to give this reset. Okay, so for whatever reason that the fight between Israel and Iran is going on, if I'm only one person, thank you, brother, thank you so much, I really appreciate it. um so if for any reason, if I don't know, whatever reason they want to fight, they can do whatever they want to do. Is their business. It's not our business. We are only saying that some things are not right, some things are good. We are not involved in their geopolitics. Let me tell you how the world is arranged, right? The United States believe that they own the Western Hemisphere. If you go through the Monroe Doctrine, the United States believes that the Western Hemisphere belongs to them. Israel believes that the Middle East belongs to them, is their sphere of influence. They believe that they should be the one controlling the Middle East. How you see that? The Europeans believe that Africa is their sphere of influence and they should dictate what happens in Africa. How you see that? Mhm. But that is what I have discovered. Okay. And when you go to Asia, okay, the coalition of this entire entity believes that they should be in charge of Asia. But with the rise of China, that is about to go out of the window. Now, when you come to Eastern Europe, okay, they are not going to do that. They're not going to do that because only America will decide the fate of Maduro. Only America. Because this unipolar order, this is how it was arranged. Okay. The eastern part of Europe, okay, it is supposed to be controlled by Russia. So, but because they don't see Russia as they see the Russians as genetically inferior people, they believe that Russia should not be controlling anything. And that is why they will not give up anytime soon on the, the, you know, the gradual destruction that they've planned for a significant period of time, okay, for Russia. The whole Russia-Ukraine war was a plot to destroy Russia. Whatever you are hearing, Ukraine, Israel, is anybody's business, but the plan was to weaken Russia, to destroy Russia, to make Russia very useless. Okay, um, which they achieved after the fall of the Warsaw Pact and every other thing. They achieved that, but they did not believe that somebody like Vladimir Putin was going to rise. Okay, they did not see him coming. Coming from underneath Boris Yeltsin and everything, they did not believe it, and the whole smear campaign and everything. So for Africa to be free, we need to the mindset must be purged. The UK, right? But Africa is a continent where we shouldn't have any experience of racism. We shouldn't even be involved in anything that's the only reason why we are racist is because why we are facing racism is because we allow some people to destroy our own home. Then we run to their home for greener pasture. Then because you run to their home for greener pasture, you think you are better off than the people that are home, or you think that they are helping you. That's it. A lot of people believe, oh, they are helping us. But if everything was to be equal, it's not supposed to be that way. You're supposed to be very comfortable. Your economy is supposed to be great. You're not supposed to be running up and down to get job. Nobody is supposed to tell you you are black. Don't you understand? There was a time in Africa where one Nigerian naira was equal to $2. Okay, one Nigerian naira was equal to $2. But the problem we are having right now is, the problem is much, very, 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 very much. The problem is huge, and to save your country, man, to save any country in this Africa is a lot. Is a lot because man, it's a lot. It's beyond the control of one individual. It will be something that multiple people have to believe in. Um, you know, it's going to be a lot. I'm one of the ones that was kidnapped hundred of years ago. I believe, brother. I believe what you're saying. I understand. I understand. So this is the reason why I support Burkina Faso, because Burkina Faso is fighting to build a better life for themselves. So I have been studying Burkina Faso for a long time. I have checked I have checked the cost of housing in Burkina Faso. I have Burkina Faso was my first uh plan that whatever happens, I'm moving to Burkina Faso next. Okay. But you know, life, partner, all those things started changing. But I am still, my objective, right, is still to go to Burkina Faso. Now, how that happens, I don't know. Will my partner be happy for that? I don't know. But it was my A game. Then when I discovered that, different opinion, I had to shift my plan to say, okay, Namibia. But we realized that, okay, she said Namibia was not the best option again. So definitely I go back to plan A, which is Burkina Faso for me. Um, it's not like I'm gonna be it's because who we are, who was shipped off as free labor. It's one clear to the truth. Who went on the ships as free labor? Question number two. Well, yeah, she didn't want to go to Burkina Faso. I'm not married, actually. I'm not married. I am single. Um, I'm not married. I'm single. Um, and I live alone. So left to me, okay. I should go to Burkina Faso. Personally, my decision. But Nigerians believe that they still have a better life in Nigeria than anywhere else, except maybe Europe or somewhere like that. Me, for me, destiny has chosen Burkina Faso for me personally. This is what I believe, that my destiny is tied to Burkina Faso. But you know, and going to Burkina Faso is a compromise that I am more than willing to give, and I'm ready to sacrifice anything for that purpose. So even if it will mean letting go of the relationship, okay, is something I'm willing to do. We've had this conversation, and I had to let her know that there are some costs that are greater than even me myself, and you know telling me to stay, or to go to, no. I am more attached to Burkina Faso. I am more, I want, this is where I want to be, whatever cost it has to be. I know you don't like it, I know, yeah. So if you have to look for someone else, is okay, but this is who I am. This is what I love doing. It's not normal for somebody to be up the time I'm up, to give the updates I give, to spend the time I spend. You know, it is just because I don't know, but this is where I am. So I've thought about everything clearly, and I've made my own decision internally. Everybody say Burkina Faso is dangerous. Okay, well, let's find out. you know let's find out how dangerous. Everybody that lives outside, they continue to say different things about you were in Waga in November, okay. So everybody talks about, oh, Burkina Faso is this, Burkina Faso is that. But my own opinion is, when I get there, we'll find out how, if it's dangerous, if it's not dangerous, we will know. So, and there are Nigerians in Burkina Faso, just to let you know, and they give updates from time to time. But I think I'll definitely take my apartment in Ouagadougou. Um, yeah, that has been my plan for a very long time, but we'll see. We are getting there, and I think it's about time. So if I'm more closer to Burkina Faso, then I can get updates right from the ground, and I can even get revelations from people that it's hard to date in Nigeria. Absolutely, absolutely, it's hard to date because they think about money at all time. Everything is attached to money. Um, man, Nigeria is not a place. I have to be honest with you. I don't want my kids to have anything to do with this country. Nigeria is not a place. I'm 100%. I'm telling you, I don't want to. Yes, now being in a relationship in Nigeria is just money. No, nothing else. Money. It's tiring. It's absolutely terrible. And you can't tell. See, in Nigeria, there is no difference between an educated woman and a complete illiterate. I'm telling you, you just you need to get to that point where the both entities behave alike. Okay. um they are not objective. They are not objective at all. It's just money, 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 money. I have been with every type of I've been with look, I've seen it all. I've seen it all completely. So, um, and when you look at the morality of both, you would think that, oh, I will get something better with someone educated, but you might get something even worse than what you will get from the one that is educated. Would even be much worse than what you got, okay, from Maswell. I will check than what you get from the ones that are not educated. In fact, the last time I checked, you get more support, right? In fact, you will get total support from the ones that are not educated, but you will get more rebellion. In fact, you will get all out anti-you campaign from the ones that are educated. So I'm in my mid 30s, okay? And the fact that I'm not married, a lot of people complain, why are you not married and all of that. I'm a very, very smart person. I think about economy. I think about a lot of things. I think about independence. I don't like depending on people. I don't like troubling people. I don't like a lot. So a lot of people believe I should be married. Oh, you this, you that. No, this is not how I think. I think differently. And apart from, even from the perspective of independence, let's take that out of the picture. You have to go into morality. You have to take morality out of the picture. You have to look at the psychology of the people you are going with. But what I have noticed is these are people that believe that once there is money, it means that you should waste resources. That is what I think. This is how they think. You should waste resources. I need to buy this bag. I need to buy this phone. I need to be using this. What the hell is that? To be honest with you, it's so pathetic. But that's the life we live in. That's the life we live in. If you look at what's the name of this guy? This guy that drive Volvo. This celebrity, this tech guy that drives Volvo. Is he Mark Zuckerberg? He's married to a Chinese woman. Is he Mark? I think it's Mark Zuckerberg. He's married to a Chinese person, right? When you look at the combination, then definitely you will realize that that combination is meant for the top. Mark Zuckerberg, thank you very much. That combination is meant for the top. Me, I'm not someone that I don't look at people from the perspective of, oh, you look beautiful, I want to be. I don't go from that perspective. I don't look at people from what you look like when you dress. I'm not that kind of person. I look at people based on the value they bring. What the first question that comes to my mind is, okay, what capabilities do you have? What can I work on? What can I work with? How can your capabilities be incorporated into what we have on ground? How can we build up from where we are? But you don't have this. You don't, unfortunately. You know, I was able to discover how bad and how fucked up we are in this country, the day I actually made a decision, okay? When I left home, I told myself, I said, today I am going to search for quality. What was I looking for? I wasn't looking for a relationship. I was looking for women that can actually present. I'm talking about, let's have geopolitical conversation, like high level geopolitical conversation. Someone that can be a co-host. My goodness. Oh, I was out for more than 4 good hours. I did not get one. I went to the University of Lagos. I did not see a single one. Look, you have a lot of ladies with makeups, designers, and all of that. But see, when you are looking for body, when you are looking for women, it's very easy. You find them everywhere. But when you go out with a mindset of, I'm out for quality today, you probably will not see. See, we think the situation is good because we are not looking. The day you really, really look and you go out, you want to go and really, really find, that's the day you know how messed up the situation is. I could not believe it. We see people every day, right? So I started talking to people. It was almost like a madman show. I was meeting people along the way. Please, do you, okay, where is your mass comm department? I went to the mass comm department. Okay, can we know? Like, they don't even understand what geopolitics is. Many of those people, yeah, we've talked about Larijani. So many of those guys are just out there dressing, using phones. Probably you call them, and the idea is the best they can offer you is a sexual offer. Nothing meant, like, you hardly will get a mental offer. So it's so disheartening. You understand? It's so disheartening that this is how we exist in 2026. I believe that women has a lot to offer in terms of what they can deliver. Most schools, you have women coming first in class, right? But the unfortunate aspect of things is, I think there is a way the Nigerian society affects them, probably after school, and the way the quality is dropping right now. So the quality is very bad. The quality is very, 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 very. In fact, the quality is nasty work right now. So a lot of people look at Nigeria from the perspective of, oh, it's over so million people. But I can tell you, these are reliant population. These are not productive population. Like, it's not a manufacturing population. So, and a population that is not a manufacturing population, to an extent, is not really, really a significant, economically great population like that. They depend, everything is the toothpick is being imported, you know, cotton board is being imported. Nearly everything in this country is being imported, and that is on purpose, by the politicians, whatever they seem to gain from it. So Nigeria needs a revolution where the mindset of the citizens has to be completely transformed, and that is where it starts. I don't even think it has to be political first. I think it has to be a change in the mindset of the people. A situation where women are being told that they can offer a lot to the society, academically, at all levels, not just the ones in school. I think a society where women are being allowed, right, to show their capabilities, not just you wear some type of things and that is your value. Your value is in how what you look like. No, it should be a situation. I mean, when I look at the whole thing, I really found out how messed up we are. Okay, so it's so messed up, to be honest. But a lot of people they rate the status of their country based on the buildings, based on structures, based on oh, this road is no. That's not how you do it. The only reason why Iran is standing right now, and the only reason why Iran will continue to stand after this conflict, is because the Iranian population, they are intelligent, okay? They are productive. The way their academic structure is being built is built in a way that these guys are the Iranians are they are a sort of manufacturing power. The Iranians are not just Iranians because they are just no. In terms of engineering, in terms of physics, in terms of production, they are so good. Iranians are so good. You probably don't know this because of probably Western media propaganda and censorship of whatever is going on along that axis. You've seen from this conflict that these guys are good. They continue to manufacture new capabilities every day. Look at the numbers of drones they manufacture in a week. I heard that their manufacturing capability of drones now in a day is over 1,000. So, but what do you have in the other side? So when we live in a world where the side that influence what we listen to, okay, when they discover that there is another side that is better than them in some aspect, they censor whatever is going on. They don't want you to hear it. Okay? To me, if I said I had a renewed hope when I saw that meeting between Abbas Arakshi and that Burkinabe delegation, I said, whoa, this is it. And look at the conversation. They talked about transfer of knowledge, technology. You already know that these guys are ready to see. The Iranians are ready to show the world. They are ready. See, the Iranians wants to show the world who they are. And looking at this, the killing of Ali Larijani, okay, the Iranian women are highly educated. Have you listened to Dr. Marandi before? The Iranians are extremely educated. They are not just educated. They are extremely educated. Like they understand like they see these guys are when they even talk, you listen to if you study how they listen and how they respond, is on a different level. Dr. Marandi took that British journalist, took her apart from response to the receptive, like everything she was saying. She was just talking and she couldn't even articulate everything. Like she was talking without receipts. A lot was going on, and Dr. Marandi was gradually educating her. And it was not being insulting, right? It was not insulting her. It was just no, you can't say this, you can't do this, you can't do that. Okay, where did you get your information from? Please mention. And the woman was out. So I don't know. I like the Iranians a lot. Okay. Now, me being someone that I'm not now, what I Dr. Said Marandi, thank you very much. The only thing that I think does not go with me is the religious perspective. Now, because I am not someone that worship religion, okay? I'm not a worshiper of religion, but I'm a God-fearing individual. I fear God a lot. And that is why my conscience always goes ahead of me. But I'm not religious. Let's get that different. There's a difference between all these things. So for me to be that individual, I love the knowledge of the Iranians. Okay? But the religious part of it, am I really in support of it? No. Does it make the Iranians bad? No. This is just my belief. But I love their knowledge. The Iranians are so intelligent. And I feel like Africans must get out of this kabuki theater of, if it's not, the syllabus is not from Europe, okay? They release all black people. Thank you for this information. These are information in the public domain. And you have a lot of Africans condemning them. They are condemning the Iranians because by proxy, they believe that because you are a Christian, you are supposed to support Israel. But what you don't understand is that if you are God fearing, right, you are very, very objective. If you are God fearing, you won't be religious when dealing with things like this. If you are God fearing, but a lot of people, they are religious, they are not God fearing. In Africa, a lot of individuals are religious. In fact, some people within the same Christian, they will tell you, I am winners, I am living faith. Those ones are redeemed. They are the same Christian. They will tell you those are redeemed. No, deeper life. Hmm? They will tell you, oh, those ones are CAC. What are you talking about? Even within the same Christianity, you have so much division. Then you have Catholic. So it's a lot. Is in fact the whole thing is now going out of control. That is still within the same Christianity. And in Islam, I was hearing things that there are some people you call them Wahhab. There are some people you call this is different from the Sunni and the Shia, right? They said there are some people you call them the Tijaniyas. There are some people you call, like, what is all this thing? No, 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 no. Let's be honest. Are you religious or are you God fearing? So for me, I choose to be God fearing and not religious. Being religious makes you an extremist. You wake up very early in the morning and you go to residential buildings, you go to residential area where people are sleeping, and you carry a megaphone and you start shouting, give your life to Christ and all those things. You are no better than a terrorist, because you are terrorizing, you are making life difficult for those people there. So there's a lot, for me, there's a lot of recalibration that has to be done. So everybody wants to call the Muslims extremists because, I don't know. But you see, the moment you wake up and you pick a megaphone at the odd hour and you go to a residential environment and you are shouting at the top of your voice, you are no. You are already no better than a terrorist. What you are doing is not evangelism. You are already terrorizing people. And like I said, may just pray that somebody like me doesn't get to power. It's all these things are going to go away. It's going to go. It has to go. A lot of people are not God fearing. I think I've said it on this platform before. We close from work, and one innocent man, I don't even know where I don't know where he works. I don't know him from Adam. He was going back home. It was raining, and I think his tire had some issues, and he came out of his vehicle to check the tire, and there was an incoming vehicle that smashed him, and this man had a bilateral fracture at the femoral level, and one of the leg was just still there, being held by his skin, the second leg was completely gone. So now the people you have around there are either Muslims or Christian. Let's get that very, very clear. The first thing they did was everybody brought out their camera. Everybody, they brought out their camera and they started, oh, 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 oh. That was what they started. That was what they were doing. And they started posting on social media. Nobody tried to rescue this man. So there was a man from our hospital, right? He was going home. This is Lagos. So he had to stop. Took the man with one of the dangling leg where the bones were already completely gone. Took him into the vehicle, went back there, picked his shoes and everything. Now the man then said they carried the camera and they followed him to the vehicle, right? And the man said he was still conscious at the time. He said, please, my second leg is there. You know what the people did? They carried the camera, they went for the leg too. Nobody picked the leg. It was the same man, Mr. Bayo, that drove from his vehicle, went to pick the leg, put it on the back seat, and the man was bleeding heavily. Mr. Bayo brought him to the hospital. It was an emergency cross machine. Everything started. We were so fast with everything. So, but the man, I think after 25 minutes, the man gave up. The man died. Because when the man got to the hospital, the nurses, instead of attending to him very quickly, they were asking questions like, who will pay the bills? Who will be responsible for the hospital bills? That was how we lost another Nigerian. So if you look at everything that happened, right? When I look at the entire society and everything like that, in Nigeria, right? I think everything has been monetized. The whole concept of religion is about making money. Yeah, it's about filling your pockets. Um, it's nothing. It's about filling your pocket and maintaining control through fear. Reading verses of the Quran or Bible that kind of make people scared. Okay? Um, giving false testimonies to make people reach out for their pockets and pay you so that you can drive those luxury vehicles and you can buy yourself a private jet. Now they are even saying that they are breaking record now. They are setting records by saying things like, I'm the first pastor to drive this, I'm the first Afar to do that, and all of that, Imam and Sheikh and all of those things like that. So I think we need to change our mentality. I think we need to change our mindset. So that is why when I sit down and I carefully analyze things, I analyze from a different standpoint. And the reason why I am like this is because of probably DNA, and secondly, by environmental factors. I have seen situations that are much worse than some people have will ever see in their life to the day of their disappearing. And I've been through what I speak is what I have seen and what I have been through. So I'm someone that is being molded by experience, not so I've been on every side of the street. So I know what I'm saying. So I appreciate when people are God fearing and not religious. But it doesn't mean that being religious is bad too. You can do what you do, but there should just be control in everything. But in Nigeria, everything is out of the way. Everything has gone out of control in Nigeria. Everything has gone out of control. So when people say that because Nigeria's GDP is over 300 billion and all of that, Nigeria is not going to be there anytime soon. Possibly Burkina Faso is going to get there in terms of production, in terms of manufacturing. Burkina Faso is going to get there before Nigeria. Mali is going to get there before Nigeria. Niger will get there before. You see that Niger, right? They were behind Nigeria before. But if they can hold on to their sovereignty, Zimbabwe, in terms of production, go and look at this. My brother told me that if you leave Nigeria and you go to other African countries, you'll be shocked. That you will be shocked if you go to other African countries. You know, most of the opportunities in Nigeria in terms of job, they are Western controlled opportunities. Yeah. So if the West cut ties with Nigeria today, in a week time, everywhere is going to explode. There are no indigenous job opportunities in Nigeria. You have very few. And like I said, the fabric of the entire Nigerian entity, NGO are heavy in Nigeria. Yes, you are very correct. The entire fabric of the Nigerian entity is heavily dependent on the West. Everything in Nigeria, everything. Nigeria is one country that people overrate, and it's disturbing. When I see people say, "Oh, Nigeria is this," what do you mean? I am a Nigerian. I don't know where you are in Nigeria, but there is every likelihood that wherever you are in Nigeria, I have been to before, or possibly I know a lot about that environment. I've been in the worst of the worst. I've been in the boundaries of Nigeria. I've been in Lagos. I've been in Abuja. I've been in Port Harcourt. I've been in Elele in River State. I've been in Kano. I've been Bichi in Kano. I've been in Sokoto. I have been to Kwara State. I've been to Kogi. Like, I've lived in these places. In Kwara State, all this Kayama, Yipata, Patigi, all these places where bandits and JNIM are currently attacking, I've been there before. So nobody can just come and stand up and start explaining Nigeria to me. So all these things that I'm saying is actually true. These are people that will deny daylight evidence. They will tell you, "Oh, no, it's not truly what you are saying. It's contest." This is the world. It's never changed. In my lifetime, I see it changing at the end of my lifetime. The most I is moving on. This is I'm not, like I said, I am not a Christian. I am not a Muslim. It's good that you are a religious person and all of that, but I am I am someone that have fear of God, and that's all. I have seen things that I have seen things that I've seen things that neutralize all these things that everybody talk about. I've been in situations where all you see these lies that is being told to people. I've been in realistic situation where every lie that we've been told was completely neutralized. You know, Nigerians, I don't know why. You see, this is arrogance at this point. We were there in Kwara State when bandits entered the church and they massacred more than 40 people inside that church. Old women, they were in the middle of prayer. So what will you tell them? You tell them they are martyrs, Abi, because they were praying when they died. I've heard a lot of Nigerians say things like the fire of heaven kill you there and all those things. It doesn't exist. It doesn't exist. That's the reality. We've seen pastors getting kidnapped and not getting knocked out. You know, you know that Nigeria is an asset. I really don't know. I really don't know that Nigeria is an asset on the stock market. And we've seen people in the mosque. Iran should not announce its replacement. Thank you very much. Thank you very, very much. So I think that would be the best thing. They should not announce his replacement, because I feel like they are agents on the ground. I feel like they are agents on the ground. You understand? I feel like they are agents on the ground, and I feel like some social media platforms, they are being used to track the geolocation of these people. It doesn't matter if they are using the Baidu. There might be other ways to track these people. You know, so I feel like they continue to make specific mistakes. I don't know. I don't know. I think the Iranians should do better. They should not announce the replacement of anybody. I told you all, I said there was a reason why they were saying Muitaba Kameni was dead. Okay. I said the reason why they were saying that yes, it's possible he was killed. It's possible. No, they wanted him to come out. They have agents on the ground. Okay. They have agents on the ground. Shebi, Iran recently arrested 500 agents. They recently arrested 500 inside Iran. So there are more on the ground. There are more on the ground. You see, during that quad celebration, when Ali Larijani was walking on the road, I said, ah, man, this is it. I said, this is it. I said, this is it for him. It's good. He felt, there was a feeling of the Iranian leaders are free and all of that. But you are dealing with people that don't play by the rules of the game. So family, this is the point where I'm happy to have been able to spend this time with you all. It was it's a very, very nice time. I really appreciate your coming. I don't know if there are other platforms where we can have conversations like this. They're probably watching this conversation right now. Yes, the thing is, the channel is heavily monitored, is censored. That is a very, very big truth. The channel is censored already. Why I noticed was, first of all, we were censored because of the facts we give about Burkina Faso, Mali, and Niger, which was very, very bad for the Western media. Okay. Oh, thank you so much. Thank you so much for the support. And after they noticed that we were countering their false narrative, okay, and everybody on the Andre community knows that we were countering their false narrative with, video evidence, picture evidence, and all of that. So what they did was to censor the platform. So we went from this community having views of over 100,000 views in days, 60,000, 70,000, to having like 10,000. Then they dumped it down after some time too. um a lot of people will tell you, oh, it's algorithm, is this, that. No, it's not. I understand what I'm doing. I've been around for a long time. I've done this whole thing for more than 4 years without being paid, so I understand what I'm doing. So then, if you study the initial days of this conflict, right, everything we said was very, very accurate. And because we were not speaking for certain side, I don't know what that is all about. We were not speaking for certain side, and there was a particular live stream that we were doing. Go and study very, very well. There was a particular live stream we did, that was in the afternoon, and the live stream crashed. Before it crashed, the numbers started coming down and the live stream crashed. Then after that, this report started coming that if I'm on live, people don't get notification. This live stream that we are doing right now, there was no notification. Yes. If there is a notification, if the notification have been sent to people, I will know from my screen. No, notification wasn't sent. So probably maybe people just, I don't know how you all got the information that I was on live, I discovered that the notification wasn't sent out. So these are the ways anyone would really know that okay, the account have been censored. So what happened that day was that the views dropped. Somebody said something on the live stream that day that they are crashing the live, and the live crashed. So when the live crashed for like 2 hours, because you subscribed. So when the live crashed on that day for like 2 hours, the number of subscribers was was like dash. Everything on the account was dash. So I used system to try to. That's true, it did. Thank you very much. I used my laptop, right? I tried to do some modification. I discovered that the account was temporarily suspended. So to fact check if it was a general suspend, if it was a general glitch or just the account. So I logged in on YouTube Studio from another person's account with their studio. I discovered that okay, everywhere was data hotel. Then I knew that okay, this was particularly my account getting shadow banned. It was complete clear. This is clear. Okay, this is clear. So and after that day, if you look at the traffic, it dropped very well. The traffic dropped completely. So why am I doing more live videos? I'm not even supposed to be doing live videos. I'm so before I was used to dropping normal videos, right? With receipts and all of that, which I still did some days ago. But what happened? The one I did some days ago, they landed a copyright strike on it. When I used the Iraqi resistance receipt, they put a copyright strike on it, and they reduced the reach. They knocked out the reach completely. The video I made before then, they did the same thing, and they put a limited ad on it. So even when we do live stream, they still try to dump it down and said it was unavailable. Thank you very much. So this is what we have. So when I listen to some people just talk, they don't really know what journalism is all about. A lot of people think journalism is just what is just especially geopolitics. And if you expose reality, if you expose dark plots the way we do it over here, your channel will be censored badly. And I think my own censorship is on a different level. Yes, now I kind of understood everything that was going on, and the only reason why I'm still doing what I'm doing is because of the love of the community, um not for revenue. If you think about revenue, if I'm somebody that is motivated by revenue, I should run to other platforms without hesitation, you know. But I'm here for the love of it, you know. I know some other that might already be copying off your format too. How? I don't understand. Copying off my format, like how? How? You can actually give me your take. What do you think? So um right now I'm thinking, I'm really weighing my option if I should continue to use YouTube because the censorship is on a whole different level. And I kind of thought that before I used to think the platform was fair. Try super chat, you got blocked also. You see? So every the it's weaponized. The censorship is weaponized. I'm very aware of that. So I'm not worried, you know. I'm not worried. I just know that this is a plot. So I've been looking at other platforms. I'm not definitely going to go on TikTok because I feel like I was on TikTok before. I was able to take my account to about 15,000 plus. Then I stopped TikTok. I stopped TikTok because things changed. Not because TikTok was censoring me. No, TikTok wasn't censoring my channel. There was no censorship for my channel. Yeah, a lot of people have talked to me about Rumble, but I feel like any of this channel, as long as it's Western owned, right? Um, People were giving out false information with Iran when you were literally the only one on YouTube saying certain things. They were saying that, yeah. So I think as long as Rumble is a Western platform, I don't know if it can be trusted. You know, I don't know if Rumble can be trusted, but I feel like on the long term, I think once I get out of YouTube, I'm not coming back. You know, um, I'm not coming back. That is who I am. I am not. When I left TikTok, I did not return to TikTok. My TikTok is still active, and a lot of people they talk and all of that. But I'm the type of person that once I leave a platform, I don't come back to that platform. I put all my energy. When I came to YouTube, I did everything on YouTube. I used all my energy. And I think my YouTube account is just 1 year now. My YouTube account is just a year. So they can listen to the television I have in the background. So all right. But I realized that I realized that it wasn't worth it anymore. For you to tell the truth right now is very, very hard. It's very, very hard for you to tell the truth. But we still take our time. We still try our best to tell the truth. So when you see some of our brothers that that deflect and they start saying certain things about Burkina Faso, and they start saying certain things about, I understand. They've not even been censored to the extent that I have been censored, and they are already shifting, you know. I think there was a point where this guy was even censored. What's his name? Um Official Survivor have been censored, but maybe he doesn't know yet. Because you don't have that number of subscribers and you have that number of views. I don't know if anybody understand what I'm saying. Um, ah, there's this big African platform, Zach Makwesa or something like that. There was a point he got censored very, very bad. So a friend of mine was telling me that the censorship don't last for too long. Okay. Uh, he said the censorship don't last for too long, but I just want a fair ground where what I need is a fair ground where everybody can give credible information. You know, so what they want is they want a situation where everything you are saying is according to what the Western mainstream media that only works for the interest of the deep state. Okay, they want those type of that's the information they want. They want you to say what CENTCOM has said. They want you to say what BBC is saying. I am a Nigerian. Let me just give you this very small, this small receipt. In Nigeria, right? More than 8 of the bombs, the Tomahawk bombs, more than 8 landed in civilian environments. Like the whole landed in civilian buildings, like farms and every other thing like that. But on social media, what you were told was that the Tomahawk strike in Nigeria was successful. And we all know that it wasn't successful. So how do you expect someone like me now to continue to prop Western propaganda? Because what they give is more of propaganda with less credibility. The campaign in Nigeria was terrible. It was terrible. It was beyond terrible. So In fact, when I see any information coming out from Western news, I ask myself, like, what are these people trying to tell us? What are they trying to convince us to see? And the funny thing is, they are trying to let you see things from their own direction. They don't, everybody already knows. We're getting information from Iran, right? We're getting information from Iran on what is going on the ground. But from the beginning of the war, Israel said nobody should capture whatever is going on in their country. So you just see that it's not balanced. So, but anyway, I want to appreciate everyone for being on the live stream. We're going to come back later in the day. And the reason why, another thing before I go, we've tried to invite some people on this platform. I have met with um some other bloggers, and I told them that we would like to have them on the Android community. And they told me to drop the handle, to drop the link of the Android community, and we dropped it. And they were able to go through our analysis, most especially on this Iran Israel crisis. And they came back and they said, yeah, you guys are doing a very, very fantastic job here. And I did not hear anything again from them for like 5 days. And the next time I tried to speak to them, they did not even respond. The truth is, not everybody can come on this platform and give the level of game that is required to meet the demand of the audience in this community. Don't forget, people in Android community are not they are not complete Africans. This is not a platform that has 100% Nigerians or Ghana. Like, no, we have people from all over. And unfortunately, let me put it that way, majority in this platform, let me tell you the top three geography, right? Number one is American, number two is UK, number three is Canada. These are the geographies you have in the Android community. Top three. Number one is US, number two is UK, number three is Canada. And I think the fourth is I think you have Jamaica in top five, right? So the bad aspect of this is that thank you so much, brother. The bad aspect is that you have high thinking, you have audience with huge IQ. You have former military personnel in this chat. I'm telling you, sometimes when you get the response, when I look at the comments from the chat, I'll be like, man, these people understand what is going on. You are not going to come here and bombard anybody with some things or some terminologies that don't exist. So people have actually looked at our chat. When you read comments from people like Pan-African strategists and you read the comment of a lot of people, you are going to understand that you are not dealing with illiterates here. You're not dealing with people that just support based on emotion or whatever. You're dealing with people that really, really collect their thoughts and they know what is going on. People that have good knowledge of history and good knowledge of geopolitics and all of that. So a lot of time people want to blame me that maybe Andre don't want to bring people on the platform. I want to bring people. Maybe everybody in the Andre community should start misbehaving. Maybe your comment should maybe the comment in the comment section should sometimes look like low IQ comments for people to have enough. Like, this is the honest truth. I'm being honest now. So when you weigh the level of game over here, I can come on this platform and not only tell you what is going on, but what is to come. Tell me, bring bring me up and let's break bread. Um, you are from where? I am from Ben Yahuda. Are you a geopolitics analyst? Are you an expert? As long as you can offer quality to the Android community. We'll be very excited to bring you on. You know, if you, as long as you have the quality, the necessary, the necessary game, there's no problem. You know, if we have 20, I don't mind. I think it's high time I even start getting other people's opinion, and bring other people's opinion to the Android community. That's what we want to do. I put you together with the true the true mamly, right? Yeah, 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 yeah. So what you will do is you will message me on Telegram. Our Telegram link is in the bio on this YouTube page. So just leave me a a private message on Telegram, okay? Or you can leave it a message on our Telegram channel. Just say it's me, and you just put your name on it, okay? I'm going to respond to you. I hope you have a YouTube channel that can, they brought to a live stream. I'll be very, very happy to bring you here. Philip Scott, I don't know these people. This is our community. It's not my community. You can help. You can come to our Telegram channel, and um you can tell me more about those people, and we are ready to bring them on. There is a lot to talk about, and I've gotten to a point where I don't want this to only be my opinion anymore. I think we've gotten to a point where we need to share other people's. We need to look at other people's perspective too. So it will be a very, very exciting to have people coming on the platform too. Um, so we'll see. We'll see. So thank you for coming, and God bless you all. I really appreciate. So I'll be waiting for your message on my Telegram. So, and as soon as I get it, we'll analyze, and we'll present. Gracias, everybody.